Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Omdela, Diri Sanje Chusumade, Sanje Chusuma Tarsinde, Jenda de Moachi. Sanje Chusuma Tarsum, Dini Jenda de Moachi.
Oggi non facciamo delle preghiere inizialmente, facciamo solo il rifugio Bodhichitta, ok? E poi cominciamo.
So today we do questions and answers.
Allora, oggi è la giornata delle domande e risposte. Non le sentite? Ok, abbiamo il nostro DJ al fondo. Pronto un Lelio? Sì, Lelio, ok.
So do you have questions? Did you do? So someone.
Ci sono delle domande, forse vedo che qualcuno
Yes.
alzi la mano. Oh, ok, there is a question.
And then after you.
Sì. Quella è una cosa intelligente se scrivete nel fatto per prendere.
So, Tiwa dire Kanzaki dami togo ya song-songa. Ani megyu da de kante nguzin chegore. Megyu ida. Megyu da kante nguzin chegore.
Tieni?
Allora la domanda, se ho capito bene, è riferita agli insegnamenti che ha dato ieri sulla mancanza del sé. Come si fa a riconoscere quello che è il sé distorto, che concepiamo in un modo distorto?
Rangi loyi tsuktuba temba zindewa tarang shigwi shikshu ngode mewa tarang zinsu dere. De mayinba tongba loha toya yumare rangi mikde shigwa de shiksungwa na di ngode tamedo zinsu dere.
So just by recognizing one's own mental apprehension, And the concrete apprehension, solid apprehension of the self, the mere elimination of this object of our clinging apprehension of self-grasping is emptiness. There's no other emptiness that one should look for outside of that. In the Heart Sutra, it is said that form is empty, so form is something that we know very well. It is said whatever is born through causes and conditions is not actually born. It doesn't have the nature of being born. And thus it is the way to ascertain emptiness in this way. The one who knows emptiness knows mindfulness.
Per il semplice fatto che tutto ciò che sorge da cause e condizioni, proprio perché sorge da cause e condizioni, è vuoto di vera esistenza.
Form is empty. So the nature of form is empty. Form doesn't exist as it appears to us, therefore its nature is void. But it's not just a complete absence. Because emptiness, then it says in the Heart Sutra, emptiness is form. It means that on the level of conventionality, form appears from the midst of emptiness as an illusion.
La vacuità è forma, proprio perché priva di quell'esistenza vera, ecco che appare come forma.
Kansa dame inandra, chuji dame inandra, rangjin tsuktuk zindeva lo jemba, tsuktuk ngo dega rang jiksu korangi ngo jigwa, trepa nyewa jiba, korangi jiksu thongwa dega rang tongba nyi sungore ma to dili loksu tongba nyi ziyo marwa.
So whether it's about the selflessness of phenomena or selflessness of person, the point is to destroy the clinging to abiding on its own nature, the intrinsic existence of both person and phenomena. And so the way we eliminate, the way we annihilate this perception is the mere elimination of that clinging, the mere elimination in one's eyes, in one mind's eyes of this concrete object, which provides a complete pacification of elaboration. This very is emptiness. So to understand and to ascertain very clearly this non-assertive negation, this is very difficult. That's why there are many levels in the view, and also in Buddhism there are many levels, many different schools of thought, many different philosophies.
Molti livelli in cui questa entità che non esiste può essere negata. Ecco perché ci sono anche nell'ambito del buddismo varie scuole filosofiche che approcciano questo punto più o meno profondamente. No?
다 동반이나 차라요 말에 또시 주진이 차라에 니중안에 양고 베트 쉬어지 야철이 띵자르지 내가 쉬어서와.
So emptiness itself doesn't have different levels of subtlety, It is just one of the same, but in relation to the object that is negated, there are many different levels of subtleties in these types of objects. Therefore, we can, in this way, reach on a wisdom that is more extremely vast and extremely profound.
Molta conoscenza è un soggetto vasto e profondo.
Any other question?
Prossima domanda.
I don't know if this is part of the answer. In italiano. Allora, supponendo che ci sappiamo o sentiamo cosa, tra virgolette, cosa siamo e perché siamo qui, come facciamo a riconoscere che questo non è un'illusione del nostro ego, e quando riconosciamo l'illusione del nostro ego, un ego spirituale, l'illusione di un ego spirituale, come possiamo lavorare quando lo riconosciamo?
Yeah, thank you.
Io intanto unità ti chiedo di riproporre la domanda perché non l'ho capita bene.
In inglese o
No, in italiano. Le parole le ho capite ma non ho capito il senso.
se noi abbiamo un sentire di ciò che siamo e perché siamo venuti qui.
Cioè tu sai perché sei venuta in questo posto adesso?
No, questa terra.
Ah, sulla terra, ok.
Thank you.
Come facciamo a capire che non è?
Per cui noi sappiamo che esistiamo, ma come facciamo a sapere se questa esistenza non è solamente una cosa avvicinata e non è assolutamente così? Questa è la domanda.
Non proprio.
Ah, ok. Ok, io provo a dire qualcosa, perché non voglio che tutti aspettino per colpa mia, mi dispiace. Mana desse veduto nato mirvas, mi inizia di zamli mire, zamli mi impedi hakudu, nato hakudire, e diciamo c'è alla sopra dici c'è degli, sono degli. C'è di tanto di Khandrola kasakei di circa di sundaneshi di circa di da serne na sui bahaku na.
So we're human beings acting in the world, and so we do all kinds of things, all kinds of activities. So how can we know sometimes we are confused and sometimes not? So maybe that's the question, but I'm not sure I got it actually. So in our everyday life, the way we think, how can we destroy the appearance of the self? How can we understand the difference of the confused self and the actual self? So yesterday, I talked about this yesterday briefly in this world as a human being. So we all wear the human skin, we're the same in this regard.
Allora, abbiamo parlato nei giorni passati che siamo qui, che siamo degli esseri umani su questo mondo che è come la nostra casa, e anche se abbiamo delle differenze esteriori in realtà siamo tutti uguali fondamentalmente.
We all eat food and we all
ingeriamo il cibo dalla bocca
take it
nello
out the
stesso
same
modo,
way.
e il cibo se ne va dalla stessa porta esattamente uguale per tutti.
아니 가서 샤탄 로단 상무 찍어래.
So, with regard to our flesh and bones and the way it functions, we're all the same.
Esattamente uguali.
이나양
Però
남주지 제발 쉬어줘요래.
But there's a big difference in terms of intelligence between all of us. Some even they're a human being.
그 자마도 지마신 텐데요래.
They know only how to act like an animal and nothing else.
anche se sono esseri umani, agiscono come degli animali o non meglio, comunque in quella direzione.
대두기 초와 배주 땅땅이 시럽 주마주라 제발 쉬어요래.
So there's a big difference with regard to the intelligence and the wisdom that is capable of abandoning suffering and achieving happiness.
미 망부지게
Many people
Molte persone
미치직
think of one life,
미치직이 된다.
work for the sake of this very life,
esclusivamente come se quella fosse l'unica vita,
랑직보여 된다.
and just for one's own sake.
solamente per se stessi.
딘지 제대니 망부지요래.
So many people just do that.
Che solamente procedono, vivono in questa direzione.
미 가시지
But some people
Persone
미치 동장 망부
think about limitless, thousands and thousands of years ahead.
vivono pensando in termini di molte migliaia di vite, a un futuro molto lungo.
대발라 중궁 그래샤 사노 땅땅.
They even think about all the past, what happened, the source of all the present experiences,
마음발라 마음발라 리브 그래샤.
and they look ahead what kind of results they might expect in the future.
다다 니츠 그래샤.
And they investigate even the present. What's the present situation?
딘지지 대두기 니츠 배주다니 레바 찍이요래.
So some have this kind of brain that they try to investigate all kinds of aspects of happiness and suffering.
Ottenere felicità ed eliminare la sofferenza.
미 가시지
And some people,
Altre persone
동해 만들어디
with regard to the suffering that we do not want,
desiderano
동해 주젠디서 제제네
they investigate what are the causes and conditions of the suffering that we do not want,
e le condizioni che portano il loro malessere.
동해 싸와니네 매바 지tum년들이요래.
and they have become able to completely uproot all the causes of suffering. There are some people who did that.
In un modo irreversibile.
타르바다 제외 연대나 쯔네치니 타르바다 제외 연대 토니
Per cui la persona che
And some people who strive to achieve liberation and omniscience, some people who can see liberation and omniscience exist also.
neanche che realizzano che è possibile ottenere la liberazione irreversibile.
랑 짜와 마치 뒤 남도양 옌 짭토야지 아니 시럽 표시 땅네 리브미 되니 가시요래.
And there are a few people who not only protect themselves but protect limitless sentient beings also, using their own very particular intelligence and wisdom.
Tutti gli altri infiniti esseri lavorano in quella direzione.
미 망보지
And many other people,
서로가 대화 줘야지
with regard to the feeling of pleasure,
Chiamiamo felicità,
신디게
for this life,
왕보 락비 줘유
engrossed in the objects of the coarse sensory consciousnesses,
per cui delle coscienze sensoriali,
대화 임발라 체제 임바
per cui
cling to these pleasures that are very limited,
credono e afferrano queste esperienze come vera felicità.
시베 푼조 짬
only strive for the excellencies of samsara,
Si sforzano per ottenere ciò che chiamano le perfezioni della vita.
딘데 된도 년년 망보지요래.
So many people are those who only work for that and long for that.
Esclusivamente in questa direzione.
맞춘 잠을리는 때모 찍대다.
Look at the entertainment and the shows that happen in this world.
Guardate un attimino ai programmi di intrattenimento del mondo.
팩신 이나질라기도 와.
look at what we call fashion.
Per cui pensate un attimino alla moda, per esempio.
Teni nyomba nangji.
Looks like a crazy.
Sembrano matti.
Nyema. Ngaso zamling di tesa sonom yaoi kabla.
Before in the world, when people had more merit,
Le persone avevano più meriti.
Mittizuji nyomba ta dungje ji rimuti ya dindi yorwa.
so people used to make drawings of what they would think of as being crazy and or being demons.
Tisang mittizude.
So nowadays, people like this, to look like that.
Oggigiorno, per moda, qualcuno che in passato veniva visto come un demone, con l'aspetto di un demone, adesso è qualcuno che piace.
Tako choyo marwa.
So that's completely useless and vain, right?
Chesan ju ringbo deg mare.
So that won't last long.
Qualcosa che rimarrà a lungo.
Ta drama da chap.
And then they do all kinds of stuff, kinds of entertainment, or dancing in all kinds of ways.
Lu namjun dramanda.
They show all kinds of physical behavior,
Dramanda.
all kinds of different sounds.
Dila dichi thorbazi yore. Yone kozo ing jigoro.
There is some kind of feeling of pleasure from these things, and through this small feeling of pleasure, people get interested in that or attached to that.
Khangdar di thorbadi.
But anyways, this feeling, this very feeling,
Sim zangbo charo chigi mare.
will not turn into kind heart,
Sim changbo charo chigi mare.
will not become truthful.
Katuk tela sim kuyangbo dabzi yorwa.
So on the spot, it feels like you're relaxed and happy.
Chi zukta la tene rangi thorbadi. Digi raziba nanjinzire. Katuk.
Through the outer interaction with the outer forms and sounds, etc., you are a bit like a drunken from the sensation of pleasure.
Ina ya digo yorwa.
And that's okay.
Ningbo yo mare thongore.
The thing is, it's vain. It doesn't have any essence.
Ngaso mitsi zorugwa.
And our life gets shorter and shorter every day.
Ngaso ningbo yoyaji cheya shira pyeje dana mambudoga.
And there are many ways in which we could make our life useful and beneficial through the use of our intelligence.
Chezang
Therefore,
dana yago yorwa.
it would be good to try to think about things a bit more deeply.
Khangda dribula ta jure.
So anyways, the main thing is to look at what objective we are looking for.
Ngocha tiyu memba.
If we have no shame and no sense of restraint for ourselves,
Ta maranga ju ihung drama ta pi.
we can go around.
Drama ta tagidowa.
We can go around naked, have piercings everywhere, make holes in our body in all kinds of places.
Ina soso ye ningje mo shuzi chide yo tenirwa.
One might think, oh, I'm so pretty and look so good.
Ta ningje mo chune yo mare.
But it doesn't look good at all.
Semji yenle mi maranga dwa zora yorwa.
Compared to other animals, your sentient human beings, when they go naked, they look way uglier than the other animals. So when we are confused, we do all kinds of weird stuff. But we need to be happy and joyful, and that's totally fine. But
semba tangdang yoche lu de maguche sem de maguche la ani nawa chipo chomen ju janya jewa ina dribu chan ya go yamare tunghe khonamadu.
So as long as our mental health is okay and our physical health is okay, and before it degenerates, it would be good to do something that is worthwhile. And it is not worthwhile to do all kinds of nonsensical stuff.
beneficio degli altri, anche fare delle altre cose.
Jen la game ba.
Feeling no sense of responsibility for others,
Per cui non,
for our
senza
country, for the
pensare di
people,
avere- non va bene non pensare di avere
for the
nessuna
general
responsabilità
population.
rispetto agli altri, rispetto alla società, rispetto alla propria nazione, agli individui e agli altri.
Rangi nangmi la game ba. Rang game ba.
No feeling of responsibility for one's own family members, not even for oneself.
Per i miei familiari o per me stesso, per quello che è la mia vita.
Tende jena
If we act like this,
ani chogo to do na za
when we're hungry, we eat,
Per vivere, quando avete fame mangiate
ani nawa jiwo da che
e poi
and just have a good time.
avanti facendo finta di niente pensando di essere contenti.
ani che zo song na
And then when life has passed by,
mi langgo da che khare
what's the difference between us with dogs and cows and cats and whatever?
Da essere umano che differenza è in confronto a quella di una vita di un elefante, di un cane, di un gatto, di un qualunque animale?
Teso to na za shi gro
They also know that they have to eat when they're hungry.
Gli animali procedono in quel modo nella loro vita, si occupano di mangiare perché sennò muoiono, giusto? Per cui si
che za so so nawa jiwo de shi do
They also know to be relaxed and have a good time.
nga zo mi nam ju te la
But for us, we have human intelligence.
pe chu tu na
If we use it,
za chen bu shu cha ya rang yin sam di ji yun ya je ani gön de gün jung ze je tu ya tang zel tu ya ze mi je li de non je go ro chi go ro
we can do something so precious, turn into something that provides happiness for not only oneself, but all other sentient beings. We can transform ourselves as a wish-fulfilling jewel for all sentient beings. This is only possible on the basis of a human body, a human life.
Come dei gioielli che esaudiscono i desideri di nostri e degli altri. E questo solamente se sei un essere umano lo puoi fare.
duksa ni she ba ina
From a negative perspective,
Dal punto di vista negativo,
nyewa ta yi ta zo ne pe te shu dukja ni je sa yore la dia mi nam ju ji ting ne ani ko ra je gre ma do tunju nam ju ji sa dukja de le je tu ya re me do
so when we talk about hells and preta, hungry ghosts, when we say, oh, we can reborn in such horrible states, well, actually, they're mainly achieved because of wrong use of human intelligence. Because as a simple animal, for example, we don't accumulate so much negative action, so heavy negative karma to be reborn in such places.
porta ad accumulare delle azioni così negative che portano quel tipo di rinascita un animale, non ce la fa a fare questa cosa.
je za mi da wo ina nam ju ma da yi ni tu nga ne de ni de bu ma da de tu me da
Per cui ecco perché siamo
So as a human being, we have a distinct intelligence, and we can therefore reach a distinct type of results, objectives, and the way we relate with happiness and suffering can also be very different.
dei diversi risultati degli esseri umani per quanto riguarda felicità e sofferenza.
rang she la ze ro
There's a formula that says you have to know yourself.
C'è un detto importante che dice conosci te stesso.
rakwa de zu ni tu nga ne rang ne shi gre
So for the coarser things, it's really true that one can know oneself.
ya rang zo ne she ba ina nga zo kham te shi ni bu so sul do wa shi rab zang bu da nge ba ning ge so sul do wa te zu ma shi ni lu de wa
But if we did fully, totally knew ourselves, then we would also see our Buddha potential, the Tathagata Gaba. We would see our very deeper wisdom, which can be extremely negative or limitlessly positive. But so far, we've just been erring without seeing this.
È dentro di noi. Se veramente conosci te stesso, devi andare a conoscere te stesso in quel modo, altrimenti ti inganni, manca qualcosa.
simjin da sanjin ja di rang yi ngo yong su zo ma she ba yin zan ne simjin rang yi chinang san zu yong su zo ba she song wa ina sanjin
The criteria to distinguish between unenlightened sentient beings and enlightened Buddha is posited on the basis of fully understanding one's own essence or not. So sentient beings do not fully understand themselves and their own nature, and Buddhas understand fully all aspects of their being, outer, inner, and secret.
La propria realtà e quella degli altri, interno, esterno, segreto, un essere senziente.
Awesome.
Okay.
That's all.
Quando il nostro lavoro è finalizzato a portare un segno di consapevolezza nelle aziende, la maggior parte delle organizzazioni è orientata ad obiettivi guidati dall'ignoranza, qual è nella sua visione il modo più efficace per aprire uno spiraglio in cui poter depositare un piccolo seme di saggezza che possa sbocciare? So when in our work, the objective of our work, or we work for, in order to bring mindfulness in places of work, in working areas, but and organizations and so on. But the great majority of these organizations, their objective are driven by ignorance. So according to your vision, your way of thinking, what can be useful, effective to open a door, or to open a place in order to leave a seed of wisdom, like that. Mindfulness è una specie di sono di samlodrota trefa da sheshi da chi giuya da pejotaya da dila teni lega yaru dovere mina deva yaru dovere e soce mi da sope mi decorandoci di chi può inando delle cittadine che è sicuramente come se tu c'è stato di Yinaya sopra da sopra manceva di quando di Yoruba quando che gofa solo di maripalatene gofa Yoruba c'è stato di ci sabo sen sanpoda Samlo Drotan Sampo Droya ki Sabo Chilla Chiki Pashaya Chiki Tabla Mixici Khandrola Nangi Vendi Velno Dikikas.
Riri. Yang Tsong Jinda. Reda Zota Dindigi Mi Mambuji Ta Khandar Zota Inanda Ta Khandar Lega Nasu Karaze Ina.
So, so to practice mindfulness in the workplace, in the factory, in an office, or whatever kind of workplace,
portare avanti la pratica della consapevolezza, e hanno detto mindfulness, è la stessa cosa, consapevolezza nei posti di lavoro o nelle fabbriche o negli uffici o nelle organizzazioni.
It is very important to act through mindfulness.
È importante portare avanti il proprio lavoro in un contesto di consapevolezza.
So when we use mindfulness to our Dharma practice, the objective is to reach liberation and omniscience. So now, the way we use mindfulness, we have to check whether it is something that is harmful to the self-grasping and the self-cherishing or not.
Noi dobbiamo analizzare se il nostro modo di portare avanti la consapevolezza danneggia o meno l'afferrarsi al vero, la concezione errata che sia per davvero è l'egoismo.
So in the workplace, in a factory or in an office, if we use mindfulness, the objective would be the development of the company and to get a lot of money, basically. So we use mindfulness to be efficient in our work and not fall back. So that's a fact, that's the process, that's how it works. So when we do business or at the workplace, in a factory or whatever, it's not impossible to put the Dharma in practice in this type of context. Whether we accept the Dharma or not, the most important thing in anybody's life is the kind mind of altruistic intention that we call Bodhichitta.
Jena pen toyat dribute chachimbuzi yongne deni ya kunjo la puya ma ngelon la jimba la ya yores deni semjin kangi chede la pen toya deni zota tinna me jata tongcha dinje yi lega lenye chola ani chowa ta jongje pendo cheya kulong ya buzi kya de kichimbure.
So whether we are the boss of the factory or the company or an employee, and whatever work or position we might have, whether we do big business or anything else, whether our actions have a big impact or a smaller impact on our surrounding and whatever job or activity we might have, and this can be turned into a Dharma practice through making money and working in this or that way, or that we can get, we can think that we offer it to the three jewels and we use it to help other sentient beings. So this is actually something that is taught to think in this way. And so you can help the poor people or anybody who needs help, or you can provide good conditions for your employees. And so in many ways, depending on your motivation, any job that you might do can become a Dharma practice. It can become altruistic.
Rangi lege nona yakjunta yoju gogor tsani chejo mare.
But when you work, what you should never do is to lie and cheat and deceive others.
Mai ingannare, mai mentire, mai pretendere qualcosa che non sia con gli altri.
Dicina chona la gedore, zoteno la gedore. Kangende samula chiri.
Because if you do that, you not only contradict the Dharma, but you will also contradict the precepts of your company. So from all the points of view, this is negative.
Zangbo da changbo laksam namda ngani ani kale jagure.
So you have to work hard on the basis of kindness and truthfulness and a sense of responsibility, pure intention.
E senso di responsabilità per gli altri, con un'attitudine speciale per gli altri.
So whatever you do, if you do it solely with an altruistic intention, this is actual Dharma. So you should not stir up problems between people.
O fare in modo che succedano dei problemi tra la gente.
If you disturb the mind of others, you will not be able to be happy yourself.
Disturbare la mente degli altri, come risultato noi non possiamo essere felici.
If you disturb the mind of others, well, you go against the precepts of the Dharma, but even if you don't accept the Dharma or any religion, well, it still makes you unhappy. And so you try to help each other and try to have a sense of helping others with a pure intention, pure motivation. Then you have to use whatever salary or result of your job to help your family or to help other people around you with an altruistic intention. So whoever you might help, the main point is to help others. So if in all the companies and factories of the whole world, if all the people working there would do their job with this kind of thought and intention, then there would be a great hope that there would be a great peace and harmony in the world. But for us, we do the opposite. We work for the sake of money and reputation only. We make very bad quality clothes, we lie, we cheat, we dilute our products, we mix with all kinds of unhealthy or negative things, and we cheat and deceive in so many ways. And this is how what we actually do, all of us, is destroying the world. If we try to, for example, in the factory, give a very good quality product and do not dilute it or mix it with bad things, then it would make everybody happy. It would benefit everybody. And that would be beneficial also for everybody's health. That would be beneficial for everybody's substances of survival, food and clothing, etc. Therefore, if we know how to practice the Dharma, then everything can become the Dharma, because depending on one's mind, one action can become a cause of suffering, and the very same action, depending on another state of mind, can become a cause of happiness.
That's all.
Okay. Teshuga. Fabrizio, I have one too.
Okay, please.
Cosa de Lama Shing la Pepsa Niani Tugu Yangsi de Zena Pento Yurges when Lama passes away, is it beneficial to look for the reincarnation of that Lama? So that's a very tricky issue. We are opening a little box full of problems here. So I don't know much about these things. But, I can share my personal opinion maybe with you. The precious Dharma of Shakyamuni Buddha has spread from the Arya land of India and in India, at that time, in those circumstances, there were many holy beings, extremely extraordinary beings. And at that time, in those circumstances, it doesn't seem that they had a custom of recognizing reincarnations of previous holy beings. And then slowly, when the Dharma spread in Tibet, slowly this tradition and custom of recognizing the reincarnate Lamas has begun. So if the actual person is extremely precious,
ninja chembu yewandu nisu yoba injane jedange duri ko zoyade ani bete khaya rungwa namba tön tubya zegdang ani dindi ji zongju ji khomba za chembu de top jodu jibute ja chembu shibuzi eta en je mogo wa zegda za chembu ji yoserwa.
So, at the time of Shakyamuni Buddha, those holy beings who practiced the doctrine of scriptural doctrine and the doctrine of realizations practiced these two aspects for the sake of limitless sentient beings, and who have, through their practice, become moved by great compassion, and everything they do is moved by great compassion, and also the wisdom, understanding, the actual mode of abiding of all phenomena, outer and inner. In such a person with such a realization, and can become an emanation body, in Tibetan called Tulkus, and such a being, such an emanation body, Tulkus, can show all kinds of aspects, all kinds of manifestations to other beings, stemming from the state of union of Buddhahood, which is extremely precious. And therefore, since the source of this emanation is extremely precious, then the resultant actions are also extremely precious and inexpressible.
동네 준지 용속보다 제네 탈바다 탐지 준비 공부하라 아니 그야지 더바당 더바잉안에 람 용속속벌랍 되니 더바 점즈마 마체 랑기디 무드 줄네 닝지 준비지 지원을 줄와 인자네 되니 디톱 용두 아니 감다 메바 참비지 강라 강도지 줄바 나초바지 고 용야디
So at any time and in any aspects, such a being is always, with his 3 doors of body, speech and mind, working for the sake of sentient beings and only working to free all sentient beings from suffering and all the causes of suffering, and only working to establish all sentient beings, limitless sentient beings, into the state of liberation and omniscience. And this is not a mere wish, but through the complete accomplishment and fulfillment of the training of the spiritual path, such a holy being can implement an actual action, practical action to help all sentient beings through being moved only by great compassion towards all sentient beings. And this great compassion gives rise to limitless manifestations and appearances that totally suit each and every sentient beings in their aspirations, in their characters, in their capacities. So such emanation bodies seem to appear in dependence upon those various causes that we've mentioned. And it seems that to manifest in this way is the natural process. And in the precious teachings of Shakyamuni Buddha, the Buddha said that in the future he will manifest in different ways for the sake of his disciples who will appear in the future. And he says that they will be his disciples, so these are prophecies. This is almost incredible and inexpressible. So they are extremely precious and unconceivable tulkus, manifestation bodies. In the past, so in the past, many of those very precious emanation bodies have appeared. In the present, they are appearing, and in the future, they will continue to appear. So when we talk from the positive perspective, that's how we describe it. And then if we take a negative perspective, so the tulkus that we can see nowadays, and people say they are extremely precious, and to prove that, they talk about all they count how many previous lives they had. And some, when they especially go to the West, to prove their validity, they only talk about the great actions and qualities of their previous incarnation. And nowadays, there are many of such people who do not have in this very life to show for themselves any qualities that they have got from their previous life innately or that they have learned from before.
O che le hanno ricevute da prima oppure che le hanno acquisite adesso.
아니 제제서 최 니수데 마시 인장 낭바 사바 인장 다디 니수나라 데니 고시부지 톰네 고고시부지 올레 주르거든.
And for Westerners who are beginner in the Dharma, who do not know the Dharma well yet because they are new to Buddhism, they get so confused and so overwhelmed by these issues.
Queste cose confondono e uno viene come confuso da queste cose.
제제서 오늘 치제 튠제 니수다 롭종데서 체통부시로 시럽 뱅님바도.
So Westerners, they have great progress, outer material progress and great education, very sharp intelligence.
Dell'istruzione, del tecnologico, e questo mostra un corretto uso dell'intelligenza, no?
소소소 의 니즈메나 킬링이메 남님들와.
So Westerners, they are the kind of people who say, if it's not true, I'm never going to believe it.
Se non sia qualcosa di vero, una realtà appurabile.
다 양식 중중되죠.
Però
But then for the little kids who are the reincarnate lamas,
vengono chiamati reincarnazioni,
간데스 대바제기도.
how can they have faith
in
in them?
modo hanno fede?
간데스 자기도
How do they protect you?
Devono muoversi.
가르 펜도 제기도.
How do they help you?
In che modo possono essere d'aiuto?
양식 윤진 제거래. 야고로와 제주연아.
If we can, it's okay. Why not? We can recognize the reincarnate lamas.
Reincarnazioni dei lama va bene.
얘는 지난서 이제 양식 뜻을 뇌지주면도
But you should not fully entrust yourselves in those reincarnate lamas.
O fidarvi completamente immediatamente solo perché la reincarnazione.
지난서 뇌슈지게
That harms you a lot. That creates a lot of damage.
Vi danneggia.
가르 뇌지기도.
How do they cause damage? How do they harm you?
그 중중지게
So this little kid, for example.
디 쉬우즈레 랍 차브라체.
So we say he's so great and we advertise everywhere how great he is.
Chissà che sei un bambino piccolino,
다디 단다 짬로 시기요 말에.
But this kid, he doesn't even know refuge yet.
in quel momento non sa nemmeno del rifugio.
콩 쭈바 짜진보 이나.
Anche se
Even if he is an emanation body, extremely precious,
가서 짜진보 구송툭 되주디 아니 디 되주디 짜진보로와.
so for us also the representations of the holy body, speech and mind of the Buddhist, they are also very precious to us, right?
preziosi anche le rappresentazioni del corpo della parola della mente di Buddha, per cui le statue, i libri, eccetera.
이난 콩 남바지 숭 줘야면도가.
But all these, like here, they cannot speak, can they?
Non gli danno nessun insegnamento.
제장 모순가 솔라 핀도 갖고도와.
So it's difficult in this way to actually benefit us directly.
Non ci sono di beneficio diretto immediatamente, no?
다 주고 중중지라.
So for a very young Tulku,
친구들 레슬라나
if we say he is very precious,
Sto dicendo che è preziosissimo,
단다 빵도 유연된디.
so
고 차도래.
for this person, the qualities of abandonment and realizations, well, it's a bit tricky.
è difficile appurare le realizzazioni di abbandono e di realizzazione.
데 ngarangi samsure다.
That's just my personal opinion, okay?
La mia opinione vi sto dando.
지난서 이제 오늘 전에 아니 베테 주노롱주제 강바 시부zo 믹세 이제 빼셔 자신 보잖아. 콜라 빼미스 뇌제기도 가인세나 롭종 야고 치료 책임도 롭종 야고 마치 와이나 롭종 매나 연대 매나 아니 냠내 매나 갖고지 펜도 말해.
Per cui io lo so, poi
So all of you, if you want to offer all your money and your possessions, build a very nice house, make everything special for such children or reincarnate lamas, then this creates only harm for them. Why? Because if they have all these things, then they won't study well, and if they don't have they don't generate any good qualities, and they do not actually study, and they do not put the Dharma into practice, they won't be of any benefit for anybody.
bisogna studiare e praticare. Se vengono tirati su in questo modo fin da bambini non riusciranno a studiare e a praticare perché vengono subviziati, per cui non gli è di beneficio alle reincarnazioni provvedere queste cose all'inizio quando sono piccolini.
So, although whether they actually are the true reincarnation of the previous Lama or not, this, what do I know? How do I know that? So, if it's the case, it's good. If it's not, well, that's about it. Anyways, that person, we should give him good qualities, train him, help him to practice well. And if through the practice of hearing, contemplating, and meditating, this person can generate actual realizations of the Dharma, whether this person is actually the reincarnation of the past life or not, they will benefit the doctrine and all sentient beings, and they become very useful and precious. So if from outside we relate to him as a guru, then that becomes very precious and useful. To be a Lama is not easy. Even the teachers of general knowledge, we have to regard them as valuable and precious. Even a teacher who teaches us the knowledge that we can use just for this life is very precious. So when it comes to the Lama, so the Lama is the one who guides us from our state of being an ordinary being all the way to the state of omniscience. In other terms, someone who helps us travel the 10 bhumis, the 10 grounds, so that we reach a state in which we will never ever have to experience suffering again. So in the perspective of the Dharma, the presentation of suffering and happiness is extremely vast, extremely detailed. So for us, what is really useful and precious is someone who can show us the actual methods and techniques that help us reduce and destroy our sufferings. So when we conceive this person as being very precious, how do we do that? It's not because his flesh and bone aggregates, physical aggregates, is very precious, that we see him as precious, him or her. Also, if it's a very precious Lama who appears from the Dharmakaya as a human being, actually he's not made of flesh and bones. It's actually a completely inconceivable type of being that appears to us. But because he emanates and appears as a human being, what we see is a human being from our sides. But why we consider him or her as precious is not because of a physical form, because we do not really see anything precious there. So we should consider his speech, his advice, as very precious. Also, if his qualities of body and speech are not sourced in the holy qualities of his mind, then we cannot trust the first two. The person who shows us what is to be engaged in and what is to be discarded is very precious because of showing us all the causes that we have to implement. And we see the reasons for seeing him very precious according to what he embodies. Other than that, then there are all kinds of different kinds of tulkus. It's difficult to actually place our faith in them. Through a good education, until they reach 30, 40 years. For someone like me, when the tulkus, before the tulkus have reached 30, 40 years and shown the qualities for themselves, then for me it's very difficult to have faith in them. When they are little kids, to say they are precious, this doesn't fit in my brain. Maybe it's because I have impure vision, impure karma. If it's not beneficial, a great name, a high throne, and then the enumeration of the past lives, so it might be so long that you can use a mala to count them. I can't really have a conviction in that. And then when they grow up, if they do all kinds of stuff, they build a little nest for themselves. And engage in the 8 worldly dharmas, 8 worldly concerns. So if these tulkus act like this and they use all the things that are offered by so many people, which we call the substances of faith, if they use all these offerings that are made out of faith to look fancy and just have a good time and be happy, and they are surrounded by poor people or miserable people, and still they walk around looking all fancy and look good and like luxury things and things like that, then how can we have faith in them? I don't understand how it is possible. If people act like that, it is very difficult to have faith in them. But then from the perspective of how to relate on a spiritual master, on Guru Yoga, then there's a very precious and very important aspect of that relationship. And there's a reason for which we should see our Guru as very precious. But from the perspective of a little kid who has a big name, it's very difficult to see him as precious. Like, but many people, they try their best to have faith and pure view. And in the end, there's only one way it ends up. It's by generating wrong views and losing faith. No, not much other option. Because at the beginning, in one's own brain, it's very difficult to believe in reincarnation in past lives and future lives. And we have a strong conviction that the mind and the brain is actually one and the same. It's very difficult for us to use our intelligence to understand the subtler aspects of karma, coarser and subtler aspects of actions and their results. Therefore, when the Tulkus do all kinds of things, even if we insist and try to force ourselves to have faith, it's like a blind leading the blind. So, putting this aside, what we can do is to first not spoil the little Tulkus. Whether it's a boy or girl, doesn't matter. We push them to do good studies, to work hard. Make them become a person who truly understands the Dharma and who generates faith in the Dharma through their understanding of the Dharma. So if the Tulku is truly the reincarnation of the previous Lama, then that would activate their imprints. This person will become very precious. Other than that, a little kid, if it's just praised or revered like a previous life Lama, it's a reality, it's a fact that these are two different people. And whether we are benefited or not through a relationship with this person, this is a fact, this is something we can see for ourselves. What actually protects us?
chanju tongbani dindindindindiri chegore chedang dini kale kala chedang laba masi tuba lama masi ani samba khandis chigome samjung kharis tengome dini zöji ji nywa kharsini gome zömi nywa kharsini gome dini samba tsam masi gombar yang ani tagarang rimbe chi tumye zeda rimbe ge 강라 강도에 랑도르 툼니지기 소소 냐외한 때 툼니지 라멘은이나 라마 죽은이나 소소 로마 종은이나 오늘 전에 대바 제시니 이제 제시니 시에네 대바 토비아이 ngala dro바이나 대바 로우 말에 당외 대바다 이 제베 대바 원도의 대바 수미로 왕아서 대바는 제자 이 제베 대바가라 만로바세 당외 대바 원도 대바는 dro바이나 다 드럼 이슈자기가라 다 디딱다 되게 말에 최제 맞지 되바래 최 제비 주고라 수수이게 땜보지 약보지 폭탄 림보지라 수수배 오늘 전에 리워다도 디툼니지다 잔소다도 차툼니지기 아니 수수지 고그래 로톱디 고그래
So the one who is truly beneficial to us is the one who tells us, this is non-virtuous, this is virtuous, this is positive and wholesome, this is negative and harmful, this is only temporary, this is ultimate, this is your self-grasping, this is your self-cherishing, this is how you get rid of it, and this is how you generate bodhicitta, this is how you understand emptiness. So such a person who guides you slowly through the different steps, so you generate such positive mindsets, is a person who is truly precious. So the person then shows you how to engage, how to understand these realizations through first hearing and studying, and then how to generate the wisdom generated from hearing and studying. Then they will teach you how to engage in this realization through contemplation and how to generate an experience from this contemplation. First an experience that is contrived, and then an experience that is not contrived, and then it doesn't just leave you there on the level of contemplation, but takes you even to the level of meditation, and through which you generate a contrived experience and realization, and then you cultivate. So you cultivate an uncontrived experience of the meditation, of the positive realizations that we mentioned. So in this way, the master is guiding you progressively, step by step, showing you what to uphold, showing you what to discard. So Tulku or Lama should act in this way. And from the side of the disciple too, the disciple should know how to cultivate proper faith and devotion and conviction. One should strive to generate a faith that is based on understanding and reasoning. If one manages to generate such a faith, then it is sure that we will not lose faith and generate wrong views. So there are three different types of faith: the faith of emulation, aspiration, and the faith of conviction. So if we work only on the level of the faith of emulation and aspiration, and do not try to generate the faith of conviction, then this will not work on the 21st century. This is not the way to go about practicing the Dharma. Whether we practice the Dharma or not, this is totally up to us, and this is a personal decision. But once we decide to practice the Dharma, then we should do so well and perfectly, and have a long-term view, and practice progressively without jumping ahead, and in the proper way. In this way, our qualities can grow like a huge ocean, and we can be successful on the spiritual path and reap the results that we are looking for and striving for. So from the very beginning, we need to have this courage and strength in our mind that we should travel the spiritual path in this way, in the correct way. So for many Westerners, Buddhism is new, so we are beginners.
Nangba sabachalu thangbo kashi gom jabi nikamne dreva chadizor. Kashi wang june dreva chadizor. Kashi sungju june dreva chadizor. Zi tingne ani nangba chagyo jirwa Dharma darwa.
So for us new Buddhists, we usually start encountering the Dharma maybe sometimes through meditation immediately, sometimes through receiving an empowerment, sometimes through receiving a teaching. We start some kind of relationship with the Dharma, or we have a connection with the Dharma. So whatever the case, when in your first encounter with the Dharma, the first Lama you meet, you should not, and I can say that with quite strong certainty, you should not regard him as your guru. should not regard the person you first encounter as your guru.
Non dovete affidarvi a una persona, a un lama o un maestro, non c'è bisogno.
잡잡 제거로와
You have to be careful.
Per il primo contatto dovete stare invece molto attenti.
잡잡 제거래.
So you have to be careful.
가래라기도.
What is he saying, he or she?
디지 랑라 제바 두가 민도가.
Is it related to my situation or not?
È in relazione a quello che io provo o no?
다 최인자네 균자지 두시라자.
So, because it is still a Dharma relationship, then you can see him as your brother or sister, for example.
Questa persona è come il vostro fratello, il vostro amico, una persona vicina.
최초 두시라자.
Like a Dharma friend,
촉보 두시라자.
not like a friend.
드니 어자 펜통도나.
And if he's beneficial to you to some extent, then you can see him as some kind of teacher.
Potete vedere un pochettino come un insegnante, piano piano.
드니 낭베 추자베 가래샤.
And then you understand what is the root, the fundamentals of Buddhism.
낭바다 치바지 체바르 가래샤.
What is the difference between a Buddhist and non-Buddhist?
Di chi è buddista e chi non è buddista.
믹세지 띵중이 띵는 지시 잼네 장에 남자 숭용되드나 랑기 초바나라 랑기 딜란 되바 두가 민도가 딜 이치야지 아니 자와 두가 민도가.
So, and especially through the explanation of dependent origination, you have to see if this is something that suits you, is something that you think you can find conviction in.
Attinenza con me o meno, che ha attinenza con la mia ricerca della felicità e dell'abbandono della sofferenza o meno, è qualcosa che mi colpisce direttamente o meno. Dovete analizzare.
디니 어서 야고도나 소소라.
Then, if you feel it suits you well, it helps you well, and you have aspiration, and you see the value of this,
Vedete il valore di questo insegnamento.
디니 계획신이 때네 표현 가르도.
then you have to investigate what are the benefits of seeing this person as my guru.
I benefici di tenere questa persona come maestro spirituale.
마테나 니믹 좋은 가르도.
And what is the loss or the drawbacks of not relying on such a person as my guru?
Relazionarvi con questa persona come se fosse il mio maestro, il mio guru.
계획신이 때발라 계획신이 디 친인 가르스 창고도.
And in order to relate to that person as a spiritual friend, as your guru, what kind of qualifications are necessary from their side?
Necessario o no? E quali sono queste qualità che deve possedere?
랑 로마지 룽아 이숨지 라마 땡당 가르치고.
And for oneself as a disciple, what are the qualifications or activities of body, speech, and mind that we need to do?
Caratteristiche devo avere per affidarmi con il mio corpo, parole, mente a questa persona.
제수데 가로지 시에네.
Per cui dopo
Through understanding these things to some extent,
이런 거 변도 전부도나.
if still we find this is so much so beneficial, greatly beneficial,
아니 배나 강 디누바 주나 아니 야고 이러와.
then if it's beneficial, then slowly you can enter this.
percorso piano piano puoi
And that's okay.
in una relazione con una persona come il tuo maestro spirituale non andrà bene.
다 라마 딱지 지긴 람네야. 배 딱지 짠짠 쫀짠짠 중대나. 미슬라랑 라마 찌라 그 말에.
But then also if you think, well, I will investigate the guru, I will check him well before I accept him as my guru, you can spend your whole life seeing only faults and you will never find a guru.
In realtà vedete, continuate spontaneamente a vedere solo delle cose negative o vi concentrate solo sulle cose negative, passerete tutta la vita a vedere solo cose negative e non avrete mai il maestro.
랑이 쬐마도
You won't say your own faults.
Le nostre negatività non le vediamo.
랑시 차오 짠짠체.
Per cui
We are only obsessed with ourselves, self-centered, completely.
siamo solamente ossessionati col nostro io. Questo
Rang-
è l'ego.
랑 시우지 인체.
You think you're so great and amazing.
밀었다비 미겨바체.
You have eyes to see others, but
Quando vediamo gli altri li vediamo diversi, li vediamo meno.
랑라다비 미그메.
you don't have this eye that can see yourself.
Non abbiamo nessun tipo di visione per quanto riguarda noi stessi, chi siamo.
제자 딘디스니 총심보라 그래.
So if you act in this way, you will get a great loss in your life.
Otterrete solamente dei grandi svantaggi.
다 라멘 연대 짜침부 드라마를 뭐 상고기도 와.
So from the side of the guru, he or she has to have so many different kinds of qualifications.
Molto preziose.
전주기 쌤 냐마지 요나 다 디데나 짜침부로 와.
For someone who has the realization and the experience of bodhicitta, then that's very precious to rely on such a person.
Quella è una cosa preziosissima.
양 닌제 전주기 쌤 닌제 라야 돼. 딱 하고 싶라래.
But then also, it's obviously very difficult to know if the person actually has bodhicitta and great compassion.
Possiede bodhicitta, possiede la grande compassione, è difficile vederla.
맞죠? 남주 닌제사도 좀 많지야.
Because usually what we see as pretty and attractive,
Ciò che vediamo con compassione,
초와 좁어져라, 죽부 좁어져라, 네 나세 나대져라.
so we feel compassion towards those who are very vulnerable, who are sick, who are poor, who are miserable.
o hanno dei problemi evidenti. Noi abbiamo compassione verso quel tipo di persona.
오 방구디 레테네.
I think,
방구레 ting로와.
this beggar, he's so poor thing. You have compassion like that.
Questa persona.
디 닌제다 샤사세요레.
There is some kind of compassion and feeling of affection in this way.
다디 미 망볼라 요레.
Many people have this feeling.
Persone questo tipo di emozione, di sensazione.
디 로브루바 잠즈레.
This is only temporary and adventitious, this feeling.
Temporaneo e avventizio questa emozione, questa sensazione.
가서 방구직 동금에도 와.
There's one type of beggar that we don't see.
C'è un tipo di mendicante che noi non vediamo per niente.
당진 찐진체네 랑직보 튼돌라 아니지 빼샤다 미니 튼달라 아니 베 카르조로 주촉보다 코 빼시우들이 코 시우들이서 라야도 정말로 야고 쓰다와이나 아니 빼샤지 욕보 미니 욕보 로데니지 디즈디 아니 오늘 전에 츠디이 대지 롱주 잠라 자첨보 다데니 츠디이 대지 롱주 줘야지 주베 랑진다 동에베 랑진 동에베 랑진지라 자첨보 진데니 자첨보 진주여바지 아니 딘디게 땀년다다 롱주 여대바지 딘디 영어라 미치 코나로 아니 땀이 된다 빼샤이 된다 년다이 된다라 아니 제데니 아니 심진라 제와 닝지 옌변조야 가야 민족 딘디기 밑제데니 축보 준보라야 드즈데 할리비 닝제르와 양 방구직 차기도 와.
Per esempio, che cos'è che non vediamo? Noi abbiamo compassione per qualcosa di cui ci sentiamo vicini, per cui un mendicante, un poveretto, eccetera, ma non vediamo per niente.
So those who actually only follow the self-grasping and the self-cherishing attitude, who think only of themselves and only strive to accumulate money and reputation and possessions and enjoyments, and who are so rich, we think they are so great and amazing and successful in the world. But when we look closely, we can see that actually they're the slaves of money and reputation and fame. They only strive for the happiness of this very life, and they only see the enjoyments and pleasures of this very life, and they consider those as being the best and most precious. And so, actually, they do not see that all these excellences of samsara are in the nature of change and in the nature of suffering. And so, not seeing that, they only work hard for the sake of reputation and enjoyments and possessions. All their life is completely spent for the sake of fame and money and possessions. They have no compassion, no love, no interest into others, and still, if they are very rich, they are wealthy, then these type of people, they are truly an object of compassion. They are some kind of beggar in this perspective.
강다 주비고 줘야 돼. 산지다 전주선배 주비고 강라 강도라 제바트네. 코라 장연지 제도와 아니 넘버 드라마다 아니지 쩨바 드라마다 용시베즈로와.
So anyways, the Tulkus, if they are emanations of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they will appear, they are the enlightened activities appearing in any way that would be beneficial to sentient beings, and for this sake, they will show all kinds of aspects and have all kinds of, they will have all kinds of appearances. Because of that, it is not good to criticize.
랑이 대바치 마체다 짜친부지 맞을라야데 핀도라다 핀도기미도나 카야고래.
So whether you have faith or not, whether you find it him or her beneficial or not, this is your personal decision. But if you don't find it beneficial or you don't have faith, it's no use to criticize. You can just remain silent. So that's just my personal opinion. Only my own confusion that I'm expressing. Looks like you've had a lot of hardships with Tulkus and Lamas. Okay, but from one perspective, it is very good, okay? If we know the Dharma really well, we understand that even receiving the transmission or the explanation of one mantra, such as Om Mani Padme Hum, and to have a connection just through the transmission of one mantra, these words are extremely precious. And just through the transmission of these few words, this is so precious and so beneficial.
Deni? Sarsone.
One more question, because it's almost 8.
Ho preso su questa casa, per cui non hanno detto che c'era un ordine così, no? Per cui mi scuso con quelli che non vedono la loro domanda, non sentono la loro domanda. Allora, nel percorso verso l'illuminazione è indispensabile la conoscenza e lo studio dei testi, oppure la pratica meditativa e le esperienze della vita colte con osservazione distaccata, bastano per raggiungere l'illuminazione? In the process of traversing the path to enlightenment, is it indispensable the knowledge acquired through studying the text and the treatises, or is it indispensable, or the practice of meditation and the experiences of life within the frame of observing life detached? Would this be enough to achieve enlightenment?
작바 몇백 원에.
Adesso la sento di Chanchullanki Gone, Chanchullanki di Ruspa Robert Katsu, Tsomochi di da Karedes, Shun Lojurcene, Nyepo Gorres, una mena Gongyaya Dan, circa chi Mitse Nyowa Mangoi, Nyowa di Nyowa Nalu Mazuna, Citu Spa, Terra Santi, succede 10 potenti versi. Cianciu toglie Zangreves.
That's all.
Okay.
Chanju lam gombala.
To meditate on the path to enlightenment.
Il sentiero per l'illuminazione.
Jung chimbo inzi mini ta goreves.
Should we absolutely study the great classical texts?
Jung chimbo matene.
Or can we not study the great classical texts? And meditate? Isn't it better? That's the question, no? In brief. So to answer this question, I have to give a weird answer. Because if I say you have to study the great text, well, you won't be able to do it. If I say you don't have to study the great text, you won't know how to abandon the delusions. So I will walk the fine line in between of these two sides and to try to give an answer that suits you. Because in one's life, well, usually very, very busy with your work and things like that. Most of you are not monks and nuns. So you have to take care of your family, you have to ensure you have food and clothing to give to your family. If you do not do your job on time, you'll get expelled. You have to send your kids to school. So anyway, in this type of life, then you have to make all kinds of preparations, deal with all kinds of things. Because of that, so to study the 5 great corpus of texts is very difficult. But if we say, oh, you have to meditate without studying the text at all, what's in these great texts? First, our wisdom. We have to sharpen it. We have to sharpen it like a knife. When we sharpen a knife with a stone, so the first texts are to sharpen our minds. So when we study Dura, Tarik, Semanamde, Pramanavartika, all these things we study for the sake of sharpening our minds. So, because our mind falls into extremes and is completely biased, then we have to make our mind unbiased and find a valid cognition that allows us to see objects of knowledge just as they are.
Un particolare significato e ottenerlo, capirlo validamente, per cui raffini l'intelligenza.
And so if we make our mind very sharp, like a knife that has become extremely sharp, we know how to use valid cognition. And then on the basis of that, we study Madhyamika and the Prajnaparamita. So when we study the ornament, which comes under the name of Paramita, we mainly study what is Bodhichitta, how to generate Bodhichitta. So basically we learn all the activities that we can do, so we make sure that our conduct and behavior becomes wholesome and positive and altruistic. And then we study Madhyamika, the middle way. When we say, oh, we study the middle way, there are so many different types of views that are more coarser and subtler and so forth. We have to study all the different views of the different philosophical schools, from the non-Buddhist philosophical schools to the lower Buddhist schools to the higher Buddhist schools.
Bisogna studiare e comprendere anche le visioni filosofiche inferiori che appartengono al buddismo stesso. So when it comes to the middle way Madhyamika, we have to ascertain the final mode, actual mode of existence of all outer and inner phenomena. So this very sharp mind, this very sharp intelligence that we have cultivated, we have to apply it to the different views, coarser and subtler. And then there is Abhidharma and Vinaya. So Abhidharma explains all the different categories of phenomena, and Vinaya is mostly concerns monastics, about the monastic vows and what the Buddha's precepts that he gave to the monastic ordained sangha. So if we don't study that in detail, that's okay, if we're not concerned as a sangha monastic person. So what we truly need, the most important, is to understand the presentations about the view and the presentation about bodhicitta, to understand the true mode of abiding of phenomena and how to generate bodhicitta. These are what truly matters for us. So if one is unable to read so many different volumes of text, very complicated and detailed, if we read the Bodhisattva Charivatara, how to engage in the Bodhisattva's conduct, text of Shantideva, there is nothing that is not condensed in this text in terms of view and conduct. There is nothing that surpasses this text when it comes to understanding bodhicitta and emptiness.
So usually we say we have to meditate, and we say, well, hearing, contemplating, and meditating have to go together inseparably, have to be practiced together.
Tuba janjang si she na di jigo ka droba ina pingi mare ma pewa ma se tangjin chuko droya ji nyinga shira yore.
And so if we engage only in study and hearing, then that won't be so beneficial. And actually, instead of being beneficial, it will just fuel our self-grasping, make our self-grasping become very rich.
Negativo perché il senso del sé, l'afferrarsi al sé diventa ancora più forte e si afferra a questa cosa qua, per cui bisogna stare attenti.
Rangjula ani So
if in your own mind stream you try to practice hearing, meaning studying, contemplating, and meditating all together, inseparably, then that would be the proper way to do. Without studying the meditation, there is a famous example of a person who has no hands who tries to climb a rocky mountain. There are many different types of meditations. But if we do not harm self-grasping and self-cherishing, however long we can sit in meditation, however much we do study and contemplation, that won't be of benefit, whether we have a fancy name or not. If we work hard, we need to have some kind of result for this hard work. If that's what we want, we need to recognize each and every delusion and we need to apply antidotes to each and every delusion. Because usually we are so accustomed to generating delusions. We have no habit of the antidotes of the delusions. So we need to get acquainted, familiarize ourselves with the antidotes of the delusions. We have to see what is the confusion in my mind. What is the non-confused mindset? What type of mindsets are love and compassion? And try to develop love and compassion. Through one's own Dharma practice, our compassion towards sentient beings will increase. We'll become very relaxed and open. Our mind will become vast and great. We'll become more and more honest and truthful. Become kinder and kinder. Our delusions become smaller and smaller. If this is what happens, it proves that we practice the Dharma purely. We are in the process of generating realizations. Otherwise, we study a lot of Dharma. We do not tame our mind. Even if we are Geshe Haramba, the best type of Geshe, higher, highest. If we do not discipline our own mind, we're in danger of enriching our self-grasping and self-cherishing attitudes. And if our self-grasping and self-cherishing become very wealthy, the 8 worldly dharmas are in motion, and we sell the Dharma of the Buddha. Therefore, if we do not mix the Dharma with our own mind, even if we are a great scholar, we are in danger of becoming a person who will actually destroy the Dharma. What we need is to discipline our minds through our understanding of the Dharma. If we say we have to meditate, we need something to meditate on. Right now, for us, we see everything as being established truly from their own nature, and we are unable to ascertain and to posit the absence of established inherent existence. From this state of not being able to ascertain and determine thusness, and from the state of not being able of tasting the actual flavor of bodhicitta for ourselves, from this situation, if we try to meditate on the deity, recite mantras, it's like we try to jump ahead a bit too fast. It's a bit presumptuous. So I think many of you have received many empowerments. You must have many commitments and prayers to do. You probably have the experience for yourself that reciting all these prayers is not so useful. This is because of missing the point of the Dharma. If it's not useful, then we can just leave it. But instead, we can think about the 3 principal aspects of the past, text by Lama Tsong Khapa. Look at our own delusions. How do they look like? What is my confusion, my ignorance? How can we increase our bodhicitta, our compassion and love? How bad and why are self-grasping and self-cherishing bad and harmful? If we thought about these things, then we would have the capacity of receiving. We are actually accomplishing the best commitment with regard to the empowerments that we've received from our gurus. If we still force ourselves to engage in a practice of generation stage and completion stage without having a clue of what we're doing, all this time is useless. And in the end, we will end up losing faith. It's not easy to meditate on the deity. First, we have to ascertain ascertain and generate the conviction that all outer and inner phenomena lack intrinsic existence.
Tini chanju gisem timo mayi wazi kora kiyaji ani juje mambuti zomi wa.
And then we need to gather all the special causes and conditions that would allow us to generate a very unique and particular form of bodhicitta.
Chuni tenla paba zamji.
By merely ascertaining thusness, it is still difficult to meditate on the deity. On the basis of that, one should still understand what is actual Dharmakaya and the nature of our minds, and on which allows us to meditate on the Dharmakaya. If we understand such a state of thing, then all the very precious deities and idams, they are not outside. They are right there inside of us. But I am not minding my own business, which I should do. Okay. So today is the third day of teachings together. So you've all come from very far away, probably taking time away from work. So thank you very much for coming. I want to thank everybody working here, the director, all the employees working here, all the volunteers. Thank you very much for your work. So I'm not sure. I think probably my talks haven't been so useful. They're not so much benefit for you from these discussions. But if there was a tiny bit of benefit, then actually I just engage in these discussions from a pure intention, pure motivation. So for all of us, for the rest of our lives. If we could, for whatever remains of our life, try to get closer and closer to generating bodhicitta and emptiness, and put lots of effort in that, then we would truly become wealthy. So I want to share with you this wish of mine and my prayer for this to happen. And if there was just a tiny benefit in all the things I said, this is only due to the great kindness of my Lord Guru through his blessings. So maybe you might see something beneficial and useful or some kind of quality there, but actually all that you see that is positive only comes through the kindness and the blessings of my Guru. I am a complete ordinary person. And so here we are in an FPMT center. And so in this context, we are the recipients of the very particular great kindness of Lama Sopa Rinpoche. So then there's not just one center, this center at the FPMT, but actually Rinpoche is taking care of 165 centers everywhere in the world. And he's always working very hard with the intention of making connections with so many different people, having them make a connection with bodhicitta and emptiness, with how much people as possible.
Sì.
So I want to thank you, all of you.
Adesso vi ringrazio e siete stati molto gentili anche voi. Grazie.
Mashina yangjar jeyung.
If we don't die, I wish to see you again in this life.
In italiano, credo. Sì. Non ho altre alternative. Non c'è un adeguato
I don't understand Italian.
Trinso di kadrin shuya chiki kale kapu shiwoyore yonsegi mare kaze kadrin tuji shuna dange mare di tuji che tayepe di shuya chiden di
Sorry, I don't understand Italian.
mi mambo yungdu
You want to do it? You understand Italian?
choshingi mishingi da chochengi machingi drammi
Ale.
Chiesa di Khandrola Chigyo Kapsu di
Mindu. I don't have headphones.
di c'è un'une di Chigye Nupcho Zambu
It's not. There's nothing.
c'è Hakwaya Chigye un'une sungdo tuji c'è ene di donda kale kapo shivushi chigi lela po shivushi sono tuji c'è di Khandrola ki tinne di nyamyo kale kanza yo pe di taki cho
You.
molto dolce, anche molto diretto.
ene di pascetan di jambo da sewa da mbembe da kare kartuci sunga di tuji c'è
Questo beneficio continui.
Cesa naranzo di pendo di mutune
Filippo?
gugdus
Can you say quickly in English because
Okay. Can you say also in English, or I'm just saying thank you so much to Khandrola. Many people there, they come here, old practitioner, new student, people they have some curiosity, and it seems that Khandrola brings beneficial to all this kind of people. So thank you so much, and we hope that Khandrola could come back as soon as possible to
Cesa di Khandrola
extend our beneficial in the future.
Yang perona yanda yando perona e ne pento
E d'altro
ya
canto, Khandrola viene qui
cize
e
pati
dice che viene qui solo per portare, per essere di beneficio, non ha nessun interesse personale, allo stesso modo di come fa Sua Santità, allo stesso modo di come fa la nostra Parentesi.
Khandrola di Chigyo Kapsu di avanti donda tagasa pusa ci a menu che avaringu ce nanshi sugaringu ce nanshi sempre ruya chiangare
E quindi sembra che gli interessi coincidano. La nostra esigenza
Dre
di
insa
beneficio,
ngaranso
la nostra
goya
volontà
da
di
Khandrola gi miyu di
So it seems
tatare
our
ci pare
interests are the same. We
jagdi
request beneficio, she can give beneficio.
cui tutti quanti
Per cui l'Istituto Amazon K, a nome dell'Istituto Amazon K, ma non solo,
sono capriccioso
tutte le persone qui presenti, anche tutte le persone che non sono riuscite ad essere qui presenti,
di Yom Matunaya
ti chiediamo, ti imploriamo di tornare ogni anno all'Istituto Amazon K.
loro
Domani mattina dopo le 9 per noi comincia un countdown.
Anisha che ci so gupa nessun te cazzo di maggio era
Starts the countdown.
cosa, quindi ringraziamo Khandrola per essere stata qui e mi associo al ringraziamento che Khandrola ha fatto al nostro maestro, al nostro guida spirituale, al nostro Rinpoche.
Khandrola di Kadinchen c'è sciughi, nella Padu Khandrola sudarinda c'è yonten suna di Tagarare, adesso Tagaran c'è che te calicanza io, tu c'è sciughi.
Perché grazie a questa connessione incredibile che Rinpoche ha con Khandrola noi beneficiamo di questa preziosa presenza.
Khandrola dandewa kadrinla tene ascoltando di Khandrola cioè ci giungo c'è sciughi.
Quindi l'ultimo pensiero va alla Mazzota Rinpoche, rinnoviamo di nuovo la richiesta da parte di tutti noi, ogni singola persona, noi raccoglieremo le richieste di ogni singola persona, l'invito di tutte le persone che sono qui lo porteremo.
Mi re shinduchi Khandrola dan super Rinpoche tende shugo kanga chikiti tanda domgye giumaci pugini e ne guardo cose chatte temo.
E poi voglio ringraziare Claire e Fabrizio per la traduzione, grazie mille.
Vivere per sempre!
Grazie a Zamlin di essere venuto, di aver accompagnato Khandrola. Voglio ringraziare e voglio di nuovo ringraziare tutto lo staff, tutti i volontari per il lavoro incredibile che hanno fatto negli ultimi settimane, negli ultimi mesi, per tutti gli eventi che ci sono stati. Veramente senza la presenza, senza la partecipazione, senza il loro sforzo anche più piccolo non saremmo qua. Per cui veramente grazie e voglio ringraziare non solo lo staff che ha dato una mano in questi giorni, ma voglio ringraziare tutti gli staff, tutti i direttori, tutti i volontari che dal 1976 permettono a questo posto di essere, di vivere e di ospitare maestri così preziosi, quindi ringrazio a nome di tutti Massimo Corona per me. E da lì a scendere. Grazie. L'ultima cosa, trovate il video. I forget the translation in English and where do you understand? I said thank you to the staff and the volunteers and all the staff, the previous staff and the previous starting from Massimo Corona. Potete trovare il video, you can find the video of Khandrola in the specific area of the website. So thank you.
Rangjung Neljorma Dharma Samsaric Jeroe Dundo Jesus Magyo Namge Tada Nyambe Semje Tamje La Tutse Wajembe Gonde Shinge Labdu I don't know. We see what happens. Rimpoche make panam kikyurji kepa nyampa meba yang kondu prewasho kembada kundu sambo deyan deshinte deda kunge jesu taloji gewa deda tamche rabdu mo disum shebe quand la chodong abade dagi gewe zawa digu gya sambo chuchu rabdu Jubela cheche seze ka senten joga chana bemo tezi kya chod zawa de so sheden luncho kowe shinkante pendan dewa malu chungwe Chele Sewa Tenzin Yasoye Shabe Site Tengyuchi.
Thank you.
Translation.
Thank you.
Спасибо.